Hey everyone, it's Michael and
Alex
and Ruben
from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au, bringing you from all over the place.
Scattered. Let me get in so we can see Michael. There he is.
So I had a background for us, but it was just all snow, so we just went for the easy one.
Snow's exciting.
So we just.
I was going to say that doesn't look like the snow.
You could be literally anywhere. You could be in the bunker. You could be, on the slopes. You could be from anywhere.
Yeah, well, right now we're up in Mount Hotham. Well, I'm up in Mount Hotham. You guys are down there in warm Melbourne, I'm assuming.
We are. Maybe not the warm part, but we're in Melbourne.
Come on, mate. It's got to be warmer than up here, I can tell you.
Yes.
You look fresh, Michael.
It's been incredibly cold up here. Which is exactly how I like it. That wasn't a complaint at all.
That kind of tends to be the reason one goes to the snow.
Yeah, well, that's it. And it's been a lot of fun. I had to laugh. I was just reading the comments as the intro was going. And James Howard has made an appearance. Haven't seen you for a few weeks, so it's good to see you back, mate.
He was waiting for me.
But they're complaining, not him specifically, but the UK is complaining about how hot it is over there. And I was talking to someone earlier this week in the UK, and they were saying, "Oh yeah, it's the hottest day we've had this summer. It's crazy. I mean, singlet and shorts and didn't call them thongs, whatever they call them over there. It was 25 degrees, and I just burst out laughing because, I mean, that's a spring temperature to us, not a summer temperature." So, yeah. But apparently James is saying there that they're facing water restrictions. So That's got to suck.
I'm back on deck. You guys held the fort for me while I was gone. You especially, Alex. Thank you for keeping things running.
Pleasure.
I'm sure there's lots of viewers very thankful to still have a stream going whilst I was away on holiday. So thank you for that.
My pleasure. Thank you for leaving some detailed notes for me to follow.
I think it was 4 pages to get it all up and running. So you did well to navigate them. It was kind of the line between making sure there was enough info for you without overwhelming, but also not leaving anything important out.
Yeah, especially when you showed it to me. That was the first time I've ever seen that layout program ever.
Yeah. No, you definitely did well. I have to admit, I only caught the first kind of little bit of all of them. I kind of tuned in to make sure they were running and you guys were going, but I didn't. I didn't exactly see what was happening for them. So if there was anything important that happened, you might have to catch me up.
Yeah, only important thing that happened was the second week when we restarted. That's about it.
I meant after that. I meant after the restart.
Everything went pretty well. Did miss you in that. In that seat in the corner, reading out all the comments. So that was interesting, trying to keep up with Michael, looking at the camera and also trying to read. So that was the most interesting thing. But yeah, glad to have you back, Rubes.
Good to be back.
And the commando crawl underneath to shut it all down.
People might miss that. People might expect you to still do the crawl just for now old time's sake.
Yeah, that's a new tradition.
Good to see everyone back though. Got lots of the regulars in chat. We got Stephen, we got Andrew and Kath. They've had to home safely a few weeks early due to a family emergency. Hope everyone's okay.
Yeah, I did. Andrew actually sent through a message to me asking if I'd received his photos and that, and I have, and I meant to send them through to you, Rube, so you could display one or two of them. But it's just, even though I'm on holiday, it's been a crazy week up here. So I apologise, Andrew. I will get some of them to Rubes, and we might show some of them off if that's allowable.
I've always said that about you, Michael. You go on holiday, but you really just work with a different backdrop.
Yeah, pretty much.
You just work with
it's a lot of fun.
Although Seven reckons you're in the bathtub at the moment. You got the shower curtain going behind you.
That is it's not used in the shower, but that is literally what it is. It's so the room we've got up here. It's got a few beds in it. And so we put this curtain down as a divider, so kind of the kids feel like they're a little separated from us. And that's what I've dragged across. So it's not a shower curtain, but it actually is a shower curtain.
Yeah, they reckon I need to get you a green screen for up there so we can put the snow back behind you or put you anywhere you'd like to be.
Yeah, it is distracting. Yeah,
I was
still
going to actually
picturing
set up.
psycho scene. So
Yeah.
I was actually going to set up in the snow outside, but it's there's a bit of a storm front about to go through, and I thought, that's not going to be a good look in the middle of live stream when we get a whiteout and I'm struggling to get back inside.
Well, that was one thing I was actually going to say to you is that we've missed so far. The last couple of years you've been to the snow, you've done a very philosophical Michael out in the snow video. Typically, you've had a great big bushy beard at the time, but yeah, you've done a couple of philosophical videos while shivering in the snow. Did you remember to bring a Bullion Now hoodie this time?
I did, and I was going to wear it on live stream, but I put it on and realised that because I was wearing it yesterday on the mountain, and I must have dropped my arm in something because it was all mud up this arm. So
that's more
next week's
authentic.
live stream it'll make an appearance.
That's all right. So at least if you do the video, you may not be shivering. But yeah, I think we've got to see at least one of those.
Yeah,
we'll
do a couple while we're up here.
Yeah, we got a thank you from Kim and Annie. I just wanted to thank the team for yet again exceptional service on Saturday. Kids always love coming in and visiting the team. And we've seen a lot of kids through now because we've got school holidays on here in Victoria.
Yeah, quite a few redeeming their savings and converting into bullion, which is always nice to see.
Those are real savings.
Yeah. And I haven't actually confirmed this, but I had one of the team here say that we've tipped over into a US dollar 10-year high for silver. I'm not sure if.
No, I hadn't picked up on that. You're probably right too.
Yeah, crossing that 37 something mark. It's very weird now looking and seeing some of those numbers in US dollars and it being where the Australian dollar was not too long ago. You're talking, 3,000 and something dollar gold and $37 silver. It's like, oh yeah, that sounds about right in Australian dollars for a few years ago.
Yeah, I remember that it wasn't even a few years ago.
Yeah.
Most of the Australians would realise that the end of our financial year occurred, what was that, last week or the week before? So I've been going back through some of the previous invoices, tidying things up, making sure that, they make sense for the tax department. I was back in July 2024 looking at the prices we were selling our gold for, thinking, hang on, is that number right? That seems way too cheap. We were really selling it for, it was 3,600 or 3,700 or something. We were selling an ounce of gold for. So that was only, kind of that 12 months ago. So...
Yeah, every time I've got to go back and look at an old invoice, it's always one of the things I'm just a little bit curious to check and see is how things have moved.
On my old phone, when I was a customer before I started working here, I took some photos and timestamped photos of some BN pages, and wow, I wish I could go back to those prices, and that was only about 3 years ago.
Yeah, but we say that, and at the time, like when gold was hitting 3,700. We were having the discussion about, oh man, surely that's hit the top. It can't go any further. Customers were saying, oh, should I really be buying now? Is this the end of the run? And now we look back at it, and like you said, we're all going, oh, I wish I could go back to those numbers again.
Actually,
and
you were saying that, Michael.
Yeah, well, I think it was 3,800. I called the top and said, it'll probably pause here for a while and possibly even drift back down to, that 3,600 Australian. To kind of stay there for, I wasn't talking a short period. I was expecting, 12, 18 months it'll stay there. And then we might see a push through $4,000. And I was right for all of about, 2 minutes. I think it paused there and dropped back a little bit and then it charged off again. But I often go back to, I've been in this industry for many years and I've been around gold and silver pretty much my whole life. I still keep having those conversations. I had that conversation the other day with someone where, wow, I don't know if it's going to go any higher. And, we've had this good run and maybe it is going to pause here. And you'd think after all these years, I'd learned my lesson. But it's that natural human instinct to go, oh, it's gone up. I don't know. Like, I don't want to get caught in this high and it rip lower for the next, day, week, month, year sort of thing. And it's really hard to get over that emotional blockage to go, well, actually, in some ways, it doesn't matter if it goes down $100, $200, $500, even $1,000, because I know that in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years' time, it's still going to, like, if I go back in history, this is not financial advice, if I go back in history, and project that forward, which is always a little bit dangerous, but as some great people have said, history doesn't necessarily repeat, but it echoes. In all likelihood, it's going to be far more than it is today, even if we overpay it. I go back to that video that Rubes and I did a while ago, where we looked at gold price in 1973, and I think the peak was around about $40 an ounce. Okay, we're 50 years later, I'll admit that, but $40 an ounce, are you kidding me? And they were, that was one of the higher prices for that year. Would you have cared if you'd paid 42 or even $50 an ounce? Looking back, no, I wouldn't have worried about it at all.
I guess it all depends on what people's time frames are in their minds, because I remember having that discussion a year ago, and especially when I heard you give us that pep talk about the gold probably staying there and dropping, and I just that's when I went all in. And because in my mind I just see things in a different, like I'm expecting it to go a lot higher, but even having said that, I never expected it to go that high that quickly, and maintaining it for so long. But that's the same with platinum. I'm still buying platinum, still love platinum, and I believe it'll go a lot higher, but I haven't, it was quite surprising for it to do that big jump, similar to how gold was doing about a year ago. So I'm expecting it to be good, but it still surprises me as well, day to day.
You have an advantage. I'd never wish this upon anyone, Alex, and please don't take it as though I'm minimizing your life experience, but you also have that advantage of, we talked about it the other week. I'm trying to put this politely, but that political persecution background to your investing. You understand the need for investing in gold and such things, and being able to leave quickly. So you have, in some ways, you have an easier way to look through the price and go, I almost don't care what the price is. I need that other thing that gold offers, that ability to preserve wealth and be easily transferable or transportable and easily convertible back into whatever I need to, whether that be currency or product or safety or security or any of those things when I get to my destination or anywhere along that journey. So not that I envy your background, but I almost envy that ability that you have to look through it and see the real reason, or one other real reason to invest in precious metals.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense what you're saying. And I'm not in that unique situation in terms of the people I know, but it's also very interesting when we all get together and those that have, say, just been born here and grew up here and had a pretty good life, how their lens, they look through a different lens. And then when they hear us all talking about our experiences, and it changes them as well and opens up, I guess, shines a different light on how things are or could possibly get to. But yeah, it's always, I think, I've never shied away from talking about it. So I think it's always good to talk and share people's experiences. So yeah, but I do understand where you're coming from, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think we've possibly gone down a depressing side. So maybe, Rubes, you can rescue us with some of the questions that are coming through.
Yeah, for sure. There's one that we've touched on actually a couple of times because it's gone pretty viral, but it's still a very valid question, and it's still one that a lot of people are asking. There's one here from James. It says, hey guys, saw a clip on YouTube showing a fake gold coin with tungsten inside covered by a thick gold layer passing the XRF test. I know BN uses XRF to test gold. How does BN identify these fake coins? And just initially, yeah, that's it. We have touched on this before because the video that I believe you're talking about, it's got over 23 million views now, so it's definitely gone out there. There's a lot of people have seen that, and I guess a lot of people that are now concerned about that. So we have pulled this specific clip a little apart, and I'll see if I can go find where we did. But yeah, Michael, if you wanted to touch on some of the points on that.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's the same as with a lot of these things. An XR, no system is bulletproof. Okay, let's start from that baseline. Whether you use a density check, whether you use the ping test, whether you use an XRF, whether all these types of different variations and combinations, even the chemical tests I've seen not so much fail, but give erroneous results at different times. All of them have their flaws. What you need to do, and it's what we pride ourselves on to a large degree at Bullion Now, is you need to combine those testing systems with skilled operators, because it's actually the skilled operator that makes the difference. And I would, that coin that came through that video, I haven't seen it for quite a long time, but I did watch it when it all became the flavour of the month and we were getting a lot of questions on it. But it doesn't matter. This is across the board, not just that video. But I would argue that even in those circumstances, if you've got a skilled operator operating an XRF, the chances of even something coming through with tungsten in it and actually getting through the system are incredibly slim, because you got to remember, when we handle these things every single day, day in, day out, and quite often when somebody presents, the classic example is these replica Perth Mint bars and Royal Canadian Mint bars and those types of things that we see rear their heads semi-frequently, that people buy off, almost said it, that buy off some of the marketplace sites. They bring them in the store before they even put them down on the counter, and it's still in their hand. 99 times out of 100, we're already thinking, that's a fake. Here we go. We have to go through this conversation again, because you get to know what they look like, what they feel like. Even down to, we went to do this last week and I didn't do it. And Rubes, if you can remind me when I'm back, we'll do it when I'm back. But we had some jewelers' copies of the sovereigns.
Yeah, yes.
Now, they look identical, they look correct, but you can usually pick them out fairly quickly. The jewelers' copies, even though they are the same, they can be the same gold content. They might be slightly more, slightly less. And they are a legitimate thing that the jewelers actually do, is produce these sovereigns for jewelry. But you can tell that they're not quite the right thing, even when they're the right gold content, because the design looks a little flatter and doesn't have the sharp edges that even a worn sovereign has. And it's the same with any of these coins or bars that come through. When you're handling them every day, when you've got a skilled operator that's operating the XRF, usually, frequently, and I would argue 99.999% of the time, they will detect it. Even if the XRF lets them down, they will immediately go, hang on, there's something not quite right about this coin or this bar. And as soon as they do, and it doesn't happen every day, but probably maybe 3 or 4, possibly even half a dozen times a year, one of the guys will bring me a lump of something, whether it's a coin or a bar, and they'll go, I don't know what it is. Something's not right about this coin or this bar. And we'll have it, melted down, or we'll drill into it, or whatever it is. And invariably it proves to be a fake. So it's not so much whether somebody uses an XRF or a density measure or a ping test or anything along those sort of lines. Is that person a skilled operator with that piece of equipment? And that's where that's what you need to rely on.
The other thing with that video that I'd recommend you look at if you see the video is the cutaway that they show with tungsten inside is actually of a different coin to the one shown in the video. The coin in the video is a maple. The one in the cutaway is actually a Krugerrand. And I'm not saying that means the entire thing's bogus, because we absolutely know there are fakes out there, and it's definitely something to keep in mind. But you don't. I'm saying we don't necessarily know that the one with the cutaway showing that much tungsten would necessarily be enough to fool an XRF or some other testing methods. It's just that was one of the things that you kind of look at and go, hang on a minute, that's just a little bit of a slight difference that does still add to the panic and concern that someone might have when watching that video. Yeah,
it was a little. I actually really liked the video, so don't run too hard with what I'm about to say. I found the video a little bit disingenuous, because they almost scaremongered with this is what it tested, and now look at this coin.
Yeah.
Rather than saying, well, actually,
particularly
now
because
we've got this coin.
They sell their own testing methods. That's the reason for the video, is they sell ping testers. So, as you've said many times before, you have to look at what the bias behind certain things is, whether it's looking at news, some people selling precious metals online, or anything. You have to look at where that bias is coming from.
Yeah, absolutely. Having said all of that, I actually, anything that pushes the education out there, I'm a huge fan of it. And how many million did you say this video had done, Reece?
2023.
Wow.
23 million. So that's, even if some people have watched it 2 or 3 times, that's still, 15 to 20 million people that have been exposed to precious metals, what they are, what forms they come in, and things to look out for and questions to ask. So I'm actually a huge fan of this video, and I'm stoked that it's got that level of popularity, even though it's not our video. But yeah, it's great, and I love the fact that people are watching it and asking us these sort of questions. It's brilliant.
For sure. Question from James there. No, different James, not the same James this time. It says, here's a technical question. Say a person has precious metals stored with a certain bullion company and is writing out their will. What is the process for the executor contacting that company?
Unfortunately, this happens to us semi-frequently. It's no big deal. The bigger problem quite often is actually people not mentioning it in their will, and the relatives, the living relatives, or whoever the will is meant to go to, aren't aware of the fact. So it doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes we'll reach out to someone that's got things in storage with us, and we'll find out they've passed away, and the family didn't even know that we had precious metals in storage for that person. So it's great that you're thinking of putting it in the will. You just need to mention the fact that it exists and where it exists, and preferably a contact number or name there of, where to go to actually find it. Then the executors of the will and or the lawyer in the background will then contact that company. And like I said, we have it. It probably happens every month to 6 weeks. We get contacted this way. And then on our side, we just say, terribly sorry for your loss. We need a copy of both the will and the death certificate, or something from the lawyers to prove that you're acting on behalf of the estate. And then from that point on, if you're the executor of the will, or whoever is the executor of the will, we are then legally obliged to follow, within the confines of the law, obviously, but we're legally obliged to follow the written instruction from the executor of the will at that point. So if you say it needs to be released to this person, or it can only go this way or that way, then we are legally obligated to act in that behalf, but on your behalf. But make sure that you mention it in the will, or at least preferably in the will, but at least make the executives of the will, or the important people in your life, make them aware of the fact that this does exist, and these are the type of people that you can turn to. If you really want to look after the people in the will, actually give them a bit of a breakdown of what's there, because the number of times we had it quite famously within the company happen a little while ago, where somebody produced a tube of, can you remember, was it Maples, Alex?
It was Maples.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, they produced Maples or Phillies. Might have been Phillies, actually, now I've said that.
No, sorry, it was Phillies. It was Phillies, because most of them were silver, except for one.
Yeah, that's right. One of them turned out to be platinum. And if you've seen platinum and silver next door to each other, other than density issues, you can't, you just can't spot the difference between the two, really. So make sure that there's an explanation of actually what's in there. There's some gold, there's some silver. Be very careful. There's platinum in there. And then also, if you really want to go that extra level, and I suggest you do, make some suggestions as to how they get rid of it if that's their intent. Because too often we hear about these things that have been left in the will for people, and they sell them and get 50% or 60% of what the value they should actually have been getting, because the company that they've sold it back to, they've just opened the yellow pages or something along those lines. They've gone to the shopping centre and sold it to the gold buyers in the shopping centres, those type of places. And because they've got no clue, they've got no interest in it, it's the person who's passed away that has. So they just go, oh, wow, I'm getting $10,000. Isn't Uncle Larry very generous? When actually what they've just done is got $10,000 for something that's worth $20, $30, $40, even $50,000. So it's a great idea just to give some basic instruction in there of, this is how to deal with the precious metal after I'm gone.
Yeah, I actually had that conversation with a customer as I was just running late for the stream, where they bought a half-ounce silver elemental in silver and a half-ounce platinum elemental, and I'm going to put it in the same capsule. And I said, that's great, just make sure your family knows the difference. Because, when it comes time to sell back, you don't want to make that mistake.
Oh, yeah.
I've got something I think pretty cool to show off. Thanks to one of the designers at Perth Mint. They I'm shooting us a little bit in the foot here because I don't actually think it's a coin we're able to get, but it's Lucas, who I'd say got a good relationship with at Perth Mint. I'd say one of my favorite designers, if not my favorite. He was actually in Melbourne, I think, last week, so we've missed him. But yeah, a super cool kind of start to finish of the double phoenix he's put up on his Instagram. I'll play the video, but I'll also put a link to his Instagram in the chat, just so that if you wanted to take a look. But take a look at that there, and it's the double phoenix, and it just shows it going from the original sketch through to the bullion coin and then the colored designs. But I love watching that original sketch just fade into the full design. It's really cool to see that start to finish, and that's it. It's not the kind of thing us as regular punters are able to normally see. We obviously only get to see the finished design, and so really cool, Lucas, for sharing that. So over on his Instagram there.
That's amazing.
Not sure if you were able to see it there, Michael, or not. I knew we were having some issues, you being able to see what was happening on stream, but so
no, I've got the stream up here, but I've also got what everyone else is seeing down here on my tablet, and it's so I can keep track of what's going on in the chat. I've actually got it on my phone on the side of the backup.
You got all the screens up.
What's the process of acquiring one of those sketches or parts of sketches?
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like they've got them for all these coins. So
wouldn't that be great as a little display piece in the
all the original
grand
sketches?
opening?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Would love to see that.
They have got over in Perth. They've got all their designs going back like 100 odd years. They've got all their designs catalogued and stored, even the ones that were rejected.
Wow,
that's where I want to go, into the archive of the ones that never made it to light.
Just think about it, having them all framed in the corridor leading up to the Bullion Now storeroom.
They have Perth Mint have actually only just recently, and I thought it was a brilliant idea, but they've only just started displaying some of their designs up on their walls. And I was talking to them about it, and they're going, "Yeah, we're getting artwork from all around the place without realizing that we've got some of the best, the world's best artists working for us right here in Perth, like at the Mint." So they've actually woken up and started displaying some of their pieces around the Perth Mint, and they look stunning. And if I could lever some out of Perth Mint's hands, I absolutely would.
Well, just seeing those, the 1 ounce for the gold and the silver designed snake cards, the first day issue that you guys brought back from the Perth Mint last year, that was just phenomenal. Yeah, that artwork is just brilliant.
For sure.
Speaking of which, that's on again.
Is it?
We are doing that all over again.
Someone was asking about that before.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a little bit of an advert here. So if you don't want to listen, don't listen, but I'd suggest you do. So last year we took a group of people to the Perth Mint, as part of the Bullion Now family, and we were there for launch day of the Bullion Snake, and we got to go into the Mint early. They took us for a full guided tour around all the back end of the Perth Mint. So from a manufacturing right through from design all the way through to the actual manufacturing of the coin, both at that stage in proof and in the bullion side. They also let us see a lot of other things that you don't normally get to see. Then they took us back out into the Perth Mint, into a restricted area, and gave us a bit of a morning tea brunch sort of thing, and brought in the designer of the coin and several other key people at the Perth Mint, and they gave us a bit of a burst for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and then we got to go shopping through the Perth Mint itself, and they gave us, anyone that purchased the snake on that day got a signed certificate to say that they'd purchased the snake on that day from the Perth Mint, and it was actually signed by the designer as well. We're able to do this again this year. Perth Mint has been, I can't tell you how grateful I am. They've been incredibly generous and offered the same thing again for the release of the horse this year. Now, it will be It will probably be the 1st of September will be the release. We haven't nailed down the exact, we kind of have, but I'm waiting for it in writing. We haven't nailed down that it will be exactly the 1st of September, but as when we'll go through. But all indications are, and certainly the verbal conversations I've had with them have been that it will be on the Bullion release day, which is the 1st of September. And then they're doing the Numismatic release on the 2nd of September. So we'll go through at this stage on the 1st of September. We'll take a group through. We are very limited with numbers. I think I pushed for 100 last year. I think they offered 20, and no, 15, and I think we settled on 20. So we took 25 of us through. I think it was at the end of the day.
It worked well.
Just as well, the guys over there can't count so well. But yeah, so I'd expect similar numbers again this year. We kind of make a bit of a thing of it. So we all gathered over there on the night before, went out for dinner at the pub diagonally across the road. Help me here, Ruben. What's it called? The Grosvenor. Diagonally across the road from Perth Mint. Very informal. We just grabbed a table and kept expanding the table as more of the BN family joined. And some of the guys weren't actually even coming on in the tour. They just happened to be in the neighbourhood and dropped by and said hello and hung out with us for the evening. And then we all kind of turn up at Sparrows the next morning and do the whole tour through the Perth Mint. And we kind of finish late morning, kind of lunchtime-ish. A few of us went out for lunch afterwards, but basically that was the end of it. So I cannot recommend this enough. It is an incredible experience. It doesn't, other than getting yourself there, it doesn't cost you anything. Perth Mint don't charge us anything at all for the experience. And that alone is amazing. If you're in, I know it's a long way for us guys in the eastern states, never mind the people who are overseas, but I guarantee you, even if you came from diagonally the opposite side of the world and came over for it, you would be blown away and you'd have an absolute ball, and it would be worth the money that you invested to do it. So if you're in Perth, you're even luckier. So we will, in the next couple of weeks, I'm just waiting for the confirmation in writing. When I've got that in the next couple of weeks, we will throw it open to everyone, and then it will be a combination of, it depends how many people put their hands up, but it'll be a combination of first come, first served. And also, if we get too many applicants, then yeah, we're going to have to trim it down a little bit. But we'll get as many people in as we can. I will absolutely guarantee, a money-back guarantee, that the day is worth it. I'll pay for everything bar your travel and your accommodation, and your food.
For the free year.
Everything else I'll guarantee.
Yeah. I'm interested to know. I think we will sell out a lot faster this time. There was actually a brief window there last time where we didn't have a full group going, but I think it will go a lot quicker this time. Both from people that went last time, just being able to say, "Hey, it's absolutely worthwhile." But yeah, I think a few people that missed out last time wanting to make sure they come. I've already got emails. I just checked my phone. I've already got emails coming through from people trying to lock in this experience. So yeah, the official process is we're waiting until it's all confirmed, and then are we going to do a video? Are we going to do like ticketing? How are we making it official?
We'll do a video and make it official.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll have to do ticketing. I'm expecting it to be a sellout relatively quickly.
Yep.
And look, don't take my word for it. There's people, even in the chat, I can see Oz Springer there. It was an awesome experience trying to work out a way to make it tax deductible. But yeah, it was incredible. And talk to anyone out there that was actually there and went through it. It was unbelievable. And Perth Mint ran an incredibly slick operation. There was no mucking around. Usually these things, because you've got to go through security, you are entering a manufacturing site of precious metals. It's very high security, but they streamlined us straight through. I was expecting at least a half-hour wait before they even got to us. Never mind, the hour it would have taken to process and get us through the other side. I reckon if it was 10 minutes, I think I'm exaggerating. We turned in. They went, right, who's who? Here's your passes, straight through the door. It was unbelievable. Admittedly, you will have to provide your ID to us. We will submit that to Perth Mint. Because obviously, as I said, it's a high security place. We have to be very careful. So we will be asking for a copy of driver's licenses, passports, that type of thing. but yeah, then once you're all approved, through we go. And a very slick operation, really great.
And that was the first time they'd done it as well. So they've got a year under their belt now. So I reckon they'll be even better. And just as a little teaser, we did actually see some designs and things last time that we weren't supposed to see yet. So you might catch a glimpse of something while you're there. It's a very cool place to be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I know you said, oh yeah, stop listening for a bit because it's a bit of a bit of a promo, bit of an ad, but it's getting to go to the place that makes all the not all of them. We get some from different locations, but so many of the coins we show off and love, and it's kind of the Willy Wonka experience,
Absolutely. Look, we're not taking you through some backyard dodgy operation here. The Perth Mint is considered one of the best. I would argue the best. But it's certainly one of the top 3 or 4 mints in the world. This is by the products they produce, the designs they produce, the operation. Like you are going through the creme de la creme of whatever industry you want to look at. These are the guys at the top of the pinnacle. So to be able to get this level of access anywhere is unheard of. It's almost the equivalent of getting a guided tour through Fort Knox. Like, this is unbelievable level.
Except the Perth Mint have actually got bullion there too. So.
I was waiting for that. And look, the guys did. You walked into, I'm talking a little bit out of school, and I know they won't let cameras in there, but I'm sure I hope they don't mind me saying this.
I'll get my finger ready on the button.
Yeah. But one of the first things you do is go into this big vault room, and there's 400-ounce bars of gold lined stacked up on the shelves, and I go, oh yeah, just grab one, have a look at it, and they're in your hand here, this is $1.5 million worth of gold. Oh yeah, just you'll be right. Where else are you going to get to do that? I can't even let you do that in the back room of Bullion Now. It's the access is amazing. I'm starting to rave on a little bit now, so we probably need to curtail this, but if you can get there by hook or by crook, I would strongly suggest that you get there.
Got an email that came through. You might have already dealt with it. It was from Metal Inquisitor, so that's it. You might have already handled it just with a comment in the weeks gone by. But it was a question as to now we're doing. We're more officially aligned with Germania Mint. Are we getting any of these? The coloured trees there, Michael, just for you that might have to wait a second for it to load.
I'll tell you what, I'll get them in if you can pronounce them.
Is it one of those, is it?
It's got like 3 Ys and 4 Gs in it or something like that. I'm bloody if I can pronounce it.
It needs to have the dictionary like pronunciation thing next to it, you reckon?
Yes. We absolutely do have them coming in. I actually
Awesome.
would have thought they'd be here by now. But they are definitely coming in. Very limited numbers. They really restricted us on them, which I was a bit disappointed about actually. But that's a conversation for another day. And
Metal Inquisitor just put the name in the chat. I see the problem.
So they're not cheap. Let's be honest about that right from the start. Even the Bullion version is quite up there, but they're a beautiful design. They really are. So certainly one to put in, the flavour in your stack. It's certainly a good one to slide in there for that. The price is up there a little bit.
Yeah. I'll just hit some of the older questions that came through that were addressed to myself as well. I got one from Jason saying, Midnight Gardener, getting an email from you at midnight last Friday made me giggle a little. When I promise I'll do something that day, I'm going to do it. That's one. And the other one, Plume, Midnight Gardener ordered any palladium in while the boss is away. Stay tuned. I'll just leave it on that note.
Have you talked to ads this morning?
Not this morning, but on Wednesday.
Yeah, okay. So you might know what's coming through.
No, I do know what's coming through.
Might finally be happening.
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff. What else have we got?
Question from Paul there asking if we've got any stock from the Royal Mint coming in soon. And someone else, it looks like we've got a bit of an issue with tags on our website. When you select Royal Mint, only some of the 1/10ths turn up. not the other coins. So we might need to take a look at that on the website.
I'll have a look now as well.
Yeah, don't know what's going on there. But yes, we've got stuff coming in from the Royal Mint. Actually, we've got a meeting with the Royal Mint when we head over to Oklahoma in August for the ANA meeting. So I don't know if any of our viewers, any of the Bullion Now family, but particularly the American ones, I suppose. Bullion Now will be at the ANA conference in Oklahoma in August 20th-ish. I can't remember the exact dates, but if you Google ANA Oklahoma, it'll come up pretty quick. But yeah, we'll be over there for that. So if anyone's going to be over there as well and wants to catch up for a beer or a coffee or something, not that I drink coffee, I'm allergic to it, but anything along those sort of lines, we're quite happy to try and fit that in while we're over there.
Just to clarify, we will not be over there in like a official stall capacity. We'll be a bit more roaming around having meetings. So that's it. It will be a bit more of a catch up, kind of a thing, as opposed to swinging by the Bullion Now stand, as it were.
And I'll give people the heads up before they ask so they don't get offended. I'm not stacking your 100 kilos of silver that you've ordered in my suitcase to take over with me so you can save money on delivery, because it just about kills us. And that goes for Perth as well. I'm not doing Perth either. I've been caught out doing that before. No.
There's a question there about both the coins we were just talking about, but I guess I'm going to broaden it to some of the other Germania Mint, more numismatic products. Are they going to be sold through Bullion Now or through Little Coin Shop?
I can't give a 100% answer on that. I presume they're going through, actually an LCS rep's just walked through the door. Why are you thinking? Just stand by one moment.
We'll answer this live. We'll do it live.
Okay. Are we putting those, those Germania
how do you pronounce
coins
it, Michael?
I can't pronounce? Are the coloured ones going through LCS, did we decide, or are they going? They are. So, yes, they are. I've got it straight from the source.
There you go.
They are going through Little Coin Shop, but we'll clearly advertise them when we do a release video. We'll put links in there straight through to Little Coin Shop and those types of things as well.
Little
So
Coin
we will
Shop,
make sure that people know they're available.
That's a pretty good segue, isn't it?
That's a pretty good segue. Wanted to take a look at some of the ones for Little Coin Shop. We did a video that released last night. For those that haven't seen it, we've got a second channel, a sister company, Little Coin Shop, and we've got some of them there on the desk. Now, you've got to be very careful opening, Alex. I've been told to instruct you to make sure there's no thumbprints on the boxes.
All right, I'll put the second glove on as well.
Yeah, but the problem is the second glove makes it hard to open the box.
I know.
The other question, though, for you, Michael, while Alex is preparing there, is the same question about BN or LCS, but for the next Willy Wonka bar.
Sorry, I'm multitasking. Actually, need that back from the stream.
The next Willy Wonka bar, is it will it be Bullion Now? Yeah.
Well, the last Wonka bar went through
the
BN.
last Wonka bar was BN, but just...
Yeah. Look, I think if it's the same, like along the same theme as last time, I've actually got no problem putting it through both. So, yeah, we might actually do that just because there's a history there. We try and, I know this sounds a bit weird, but we actually try and keep the numismatic stuff out of BN and in LCS, and then try and keep the bullion stuff out of LCS and keep that in BN. It just makes it a bit tidier, particularly for tax purposes. It makes it tidier, but it makes it tidier for the company as well. So, or for the customers as well. So we try, but we also don't mind overlapping a little bit there. So I've got no problem because BN has released those Wonka bars before. We might even pull some through BN this time again as well.
Very cool. So yeah, we've got a bit of a pile there sitting next to Alex of some of the cool ones that were released a couple of days ago, but we highlighted them yesterday. Very cool there to see the color quokka, because to be honest, it was a design in the bullion that I looked at and went, what's going on there? There was a couple of things that didn't really pop, didn't really work, and so to see it kind of brought to life with color was super cool. My favorite of the lot, though, I think was the TMNT, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles turtle shell. That one there, yeah, I think that was a super cool product.
I haven't seen any of these
Yeah.
yet, so I'm super excited, especially growing
That's
up with
that's
the
that's the shellback one, isn't it?
yes, it is.
Rubes?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
Teenage
should-
Mutant Hero Turtles, as they were known in the UK.
Ah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, ninjas were too violent.
You should actually, off camera, if you get a chance, Alex, you might even see if you can open that shellback one because it looks quite good.
All right, which one do you want to
in
start with?
Real life sort of.
I think we'll keep a lot of the ones there because I want to make sure they stay intact and safe. But I do want to open up that turtle shell. I reckon that's
all right. Let's go.
sadly. I think they have all sold. And to that point, there's a question you can probably answer, Michael, whilst Alex is getting into that nice and safely. It says, many scarce releases through Little Coin Shop that don't end up being listed online. How do you access scarce releases?
You can always contact them, and if either they've got it or they can get hold of it, because we do have a good relationship with many of the mints around the world, and quite often they will, they'll do us favours is probably the way to put it. So don't be shy of saying, hey, look, I know you've sold out of X, Y, Z. Is there any chance? And quite often we can source some in the background. Not always, but quite often we can, because with these shell ones, I'm actually fairly certain, and if Katie sticks her nose back in again, I will ask her. I'm fairly certain I've actually secured a few more. So expect to see those on the web. Not a heap, but I'm pretty sure there's a few more being secured as well.
I kept telling myself I don't want to go down a numismatics path, and then I see something like this. Wow! All right, are we ready for this?
Yeah, I'm not sure how well we'll go. I might have to get you to hold it up, but it's a 1.5 ounce as well, which is one of the cool things about it. A bit of a different size.
Yeah.
All right, here's the grand reveal.
Ooh.
Got to take it out of the box, mate.
Oh, okay.
Not out of the clamshell box. Just
No, just
just
out
the
of
cardboard
yeah.
box.
All right.
I'm just getting reflection at the moment, Rubes. There we go. It's a three-dimensional coin. Even there, we're not doing it justice. It looks great.
Oh, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I love the fact you got Charles hiding in there. It's actually a coin. Was very much hoping to get some close-up photos of this one, but the shop was a little bit crazy today. But yeah, super cool piece.
There is on the LCS, so the little coin shop. I've got to stop abbreviating things.
Yeah.
On the little coin shop YouTube channel, Ruben released a video of probably more a montage, wasn't it, Rubes?
Yeah.
Of shots of these things, and so that looks really good. So duck after the live stream, duck over there and have a look at that video, and you'll actually see what we're talking about. Because this, I got to say, it's almost like they got a whole stack of the really good stuff and they released it all in one hit. Because I don't know, they released 6 or 8 coins this month, and I reckon at least half of them, but I reckon almost all of them are absolute knock them out of the park winners. They're just good. Even the TMNT coining card that you've got there, I think that looks fantastic. The emu is incredible.
Emu. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So they're just like the one you've got in your hand at the moment is just a really good. Like it's not precious metals or anything like that. It's copper nickel. Although copper's getting quite expensive these days. Copper nickel, and it's just good fun. Great for the kids. Like they're not overly expensive.
And if you want to treat someone, you can actually spend it in the shops.
Yeah, well, I suppose you could, but it's not quite that cheap, I would suggest. But it starts those conversations and that interest in the finances as a whole thing, but also in but this is a coin, it's got this much face value, but it's worth this because it's a collector's coin. But also it's copper nickel. If you move into the precious metals, you can get coins in precious metals, and the whole conversation leads through, and it's a great way to to go to almost any generation, because my generation was around when TMNT, was kind of kicking off, and the new generation sees them, and even the older generation. So, my parents would have known the craze of TMNT when it first came out. When, like I said, my generation went through. So it's another one of those things where it can carry this precious metals conversation across almost any age group and stimulates those conversations. So I love things like that. And then you move into, like Ruben mentioned a moment ago, that emu, beautiful coin. In its own right, it's a stunning coin and makes a statement both about culture and heritage and the wildlife of Australia as well, and Australia itself. But it's also a precious metal. So again, it generates that conversation, and it's good fun. And potentially, this is not financial advice, potentially a great investment going into the future.
There's a couple of clarifications important to make there. From the Bullion Dog. It says, if someone was to place an order from both BN and LCS, Bullion Now and Little Coin Shop, at the same time, could shipping be combined?
No. And it's got nothing to do with us being mongrels about it or trying to extract extra cash out of anyone. It's purely that we have done it in previous history years ago. I haven't allowed it for a long time. The problem is that bullion, numismatic, so that one that Alex has just opened there, just hold all that up. Can you hold both the coin up and the packaging on the outside?
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why Alex is using gloves. The coin has a value, but the packaging has a value as well. And if that packaging gets damaged at all, you may find this isn't a multi-$1,000 coin, but you can turn a multi-$1,000 coin into scrap value, not because the coin's been damaged, but because the box that it came in has been damaged. So we have to be incredibly careful about packaging these things to be sent out. The last thing you want is your beautiful numismatic coin in its beautiful presentation box, inside its shipper, inside its presentation case, being stuck in a box with a kilo Perth Mint bar that rattles around all the way across Australia, or heaven forbid across the world, and beats the living daylights out of it. We had that happen on a couple of occasions. No matter how well we package it, I can't stop it. So several years ago, I just put a blanket ban on it and said, no way, not happening anymore. Even if 1 out of every 100 is the one that's damaged, you guarantee it's the one that's incredibly expensive, and all the other cheapy ones went through without damage. So we just don't do it anymore. It's just a blanket. Absolutely not.
Yeah, cool to highlight some of those coins.
You guys keep going. I'm having a blast looking at these.
Down the collecting man.
Alex is one of those guys that buys purely for the metal weight. I want the cheapest stuff out there. I only buy buybacks. I just want the cheapest. Oh, wow, look at this coin.
Yeah.
Must have this one.
And it's getting worse.
Wanting to know, Michael, if we're getting the Maltese Cross 2025 from the Pressburg Mint.
I don't believe we are this time round. We are getting the what's the one Germania produces? The
Eagle.
The Eagle. We're getting the Eagle through, but I don't think we're getting the Pressburg one.
So how do I pronounce your name? Sheziar. I got to meet Lucas at Collect Fest. That's where he was here in Melbourne. He was signing products. Example, the turtle coin and card there. So you could have got a signed TMNT turtle shell.
Bummer.
Yeah.
I might actually reach out to Lucas and see if he will attend the Perth Mint thing with us. So if he does...
He was off sick last time, so yeah.
He was. And he was incredibly contagious, so we didn't go near him. I think we did a remote interview with him, if I remember rightly.
Yes.
But yeah, if we can get him to come along, absolutely bring your TMNT coin with you and get him to. He's the designer of it, isn't he?
He is. He's I think handling most of the TMNT license. Yeah.
So you can get him if we can tee him up, and there's a pretty good chance we can. We know Lucas quite well, so hopefully. I'm not overplaying our hand there. Hopefully we can get him to come along and bring your coins along, and I'm sure he will oblige and sign them for you.
while we're on the topic of little coin shop as well, there's a lovely message from Rambo there. It says, I just wanted to say on here, the customer service I received at little coin shop was top notch. It's when things go pear-shaped that you see a company's true colours. They recently resolved an issue from 2021. So I'm not sure what the issue was.
That one.
You do?
Yeah.
But yeah, lovely to hear.
You caused a bit of a ripple through the network when you posed that, both on the fact that A, we'd done it in the first place, B, it had taken us so long to respond, and then C, how we were going to fix the issue at the time. So I'm glad I'm glad that you're happy with the end result, and I just apologise for it taking 4 years to get sorted.
All right, we've got to show this quokka. This is incredible.
Yeah, it is a cool one. I think we've got to be very, very careful with that one, though, because I think we've also sold out of those ones. Potentially, I think also more on pre-order. But
Which one's that?
The coloured quokka.
Yeah. All right, you ready for this?
Yeah. If it's not sold out, it's close to.
All right. The colours on this are just absolutely spellbinding.
Alex has got to work out where to move his hands to make them.
Sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't. It is tricky. But yeah, compared to the bullion design, which I actually wasn't so much of a fan of, the way the fur now looks, the water, the flowers, it is definitely been brought to life. And I think this is a design for me that confirms that it was designed for colour. I mean, obviously we saw from Lucas's little thing earlier that they start with a sketch and then add the colour, so it's not really true, but it felt like it was designed with colour in mind. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
But no, very, very cool.
Yeah, look, I got to say, because they released the Quokka bullion coin the year before, the coloured coin,
and then reused the same
when the bullion one
design.
came out, I kind of went, I like it, but it doesn't blow my socks off. When the coloured one came out, I thought, that's how this should look. That's stunning.
Yeah.
I've seen the coloured
so,
ones, but
I agree.
this is on another level compared to the previous years, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that statement.
We had an email from a few weeks ago that I'm only just getting to now. Sorry about that. They were asking about it in chat before as well. It says, "G'day, stackers." And this isn't just to us. I'm sure other people in chat can answer this question as well. What is the smallest and largest bar you've seen come through? When we were visiting a coin shop in Las Vegas last year, they gave my daughter the bar in the attached photo, and I'll show it again in a second. It's 5 grains. And I'll show that one there. So a very, very small piece there. And they say, feel free to share on stream. So thanks for sending that one through. But a very, very small piece there.
I remember you were trying to talk a customer out of buying grains of gold one time when I was a customer myself, and I walked in and I saw you and I'm like, I want one of those. I've still got it.
Yep, very much. I was talking about how these small little things have quite a high premium, and you're much better bang for your buck to be getting some of the more cost efficient things, ounces, certain things like that. And I saw your eyes light up. And you were like, yeah, that's good advice. He's telling you good advice, but I'm also going to be buying that one.
It was in the shape of a pyramid. I had to have it. Yeah.
So for those that want a conversion, 1 grain equals 0.06, near enough to 0.065 of a gram. So it's not even a tenth of a gram.
Yeah, they said in the emails, 5 grains or 0.323 grams. That works out to.
Yeah. So we used to get or we sometimes get, I should say, the 1/100th of an ounce come through, which is a similar size. It's about 0.3 of a gram.
Paper thin.
So
I think those Scottsdale
almost foil.
Yep.
Yeah, I think those Scottsdale ones would probably be the smallest for me, if we're not counting like something like the Goldback that obviously has a much bigger profile, but is 1/1000th, but obviously isn't actually that small. And then largest would just be for gold it would be the 1 ton coin over at Perth Mint. And silver.
We haven't had that through the shop though.
Haven't had that through the shop.
Still waiting for a buyback.
Yeah, I'm hoping Perth's going to phone us up and say, "What's your buyback on a ton coin?"
Yeah, we want to redo the design. We're going to sell it off. Do you pay spot?
Yeah, that's the one.
The largest I've seen through the shop, not because we actually bought it back, but because someone wanted to just us to test it, make sure it was all good, was a 400 ounce gold. And yeah, the big 1,000 ounce, I think, is probably the largest I've seen in silver through the shop as well. I don't know about you guys.
Nah, they don't really come any bigger than the 1,000 ounce.
Sure, there's probably some sculpture or something somewhere that's that I might have seen that's bigger, but yeah, that's about it.
I have no doubt.
But no, super cool. Thank you for sending that through. There was another question that came through while I was gone. Again, not sure if this is one you had, because it was from Stephen, who might have asked it in chat. It says, what would happen to the price of gold if the US government tried to seize all the international gold stored at the Fed? So if the US said, no, that's all ours now, we've been storing it, it's ours, would that have, countries around the world going to cry out for more? They're then going to buy more. Would we see a major impact on the price?
Well, first of all, that's still assuming they have international gold.
I actually really agree with that statement on this one, because we've seen, and we did a burst on it 6 or 8 months ago, we've seen a lot of other countries repatriating a lot of their gold out of Europe and out of the US. They have been chartering like large cargo aircraft moving tons and tons of this gold. India being the classic example, where they repatriated multiple tons of gold back into India.
Yeah.
So I got to be honest, I agree on a couple of different levels with Alex on that one. I'd actually be surprised if there's much there that they can actually seize, because I think most countries, particularly, I don't want to get political here, particularly after the way, I'm not justifying anything, I'm not making any political statements, I'm not going down any of those pathways. It's basically an observation on actions that occurred. But the way both Russia and some of the countries in the Middle East were treated, whether they did it rightly or wrongly, I'm not getting into that side of it, the way they were treated with their currencies and, US dollars, their investments and those types of things, the whole world turned around and watched what went on. And a lot of countries immediately went, yeah, I don't like that. We're pulling our stuff back into where we control it, rather than allowing it outside in the world where it can be seized just because somebody doesn't like the way you're behaving in a certain circumstance. So I think a lot of that has been pulled out of these major storage facilities, and been taken back, as I said, repatriated. We quite often have the comment in the store when we talk storage and things like that. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. And I think that's gone from our level, the everyday mum and dad level. That's now spread all the way through to central banks and governments, where they're now saying if you don't hold it, you don't own it. So yeah, that's my play on that.
Yeah, and on that note, and this is not political advice, but it's a direct quote from Henry Kissinger. It may be dangerous to be America's enemy, but to be America's friend is fatal. So make of that what you will.
Yes.
It's interesting you saying that as well. One of the other things that's been in the news this week is Turkey again. One of the presidents of one of the jewelry association or something over there has been talking about that there's still an estimated $500 billion worth of gold still circulating out in the community because of a distrust of the currency of the government, things like that. And this is after, I remember a few years ago we spoke about, I think on this show, how the government was requesting the people sell back their gold to the government, and how that was almost one of the first trigger points that might be a concern for the general public of that area, to say, hey, this is probably actually when we need to be holding on to it more. But yeah, it's interesting to know that there is still so much estimated, of course, we don't know, but to be out there in circulation, stored with the people, as opposed to in banks and in more official holdings.
Can we run a poll, Rubes?
Sure can.
Let's run a poll on the Bullion Now family right now. And I know this is going to be slightly skewed. Let's do a poll. If the government requested you handed in your gold, would you do it?
Hand in or sell back? I'm not saying
Yeah.
I think the answer will be different. I just want to clarify for the poll.
Well, let's go with what the US did. So it was to hand in, wasn't it? No, there was a sell back.
I'm happy with the Let's say they're going to pay let's say they do what they did with the gun buyback. You know, they paid fair market value at the time. So they came out. Whatever spot is. I'm really sorry. I am technically on holiday, so excuse me for not knowing spot price today. But let's assume they did today's spot price and put out an appeal. Would you sell it back to the government?
All right.
I think before I even do the poll,
can you see my computer, Rubes?
No.
Okay, so just for the record, for the government, I'm saying yes, I would, and I'm going to vote no.
I was going to say, I think there might be a few people like, I don't want to be put on that list.
Again, I'm experienced.
Yeah.
I can't believe that 4%.
3%.
I think there's always going to be some that just like to
Stir us up.
yeah.
I thought I was sure this one would be 100%.
But yeah, it's interesting to look at Turkey and what's happening over there as a bit of a example of one of the reasons people might be worried about this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Look, Deleta, I specifically, I was trying to steer away from the confiscation question and more head down the, if they offered to buy it back, they said, look, we'd like to put our funds into a reserve. Obviously, we need to secure it from somewhere. Would you be community minded and sell it back? And I think we all know the answer to that one.
Yeah.
Even what would turn out to be, Rubes? Was it 5% or 3% or something that said they would?
We jumped up to 6, but yeah.
Yeah, I
Wow,
would
so
challenge
more than just me.
I would challenge the 6% on if push came to shove whether they'd actually be that community minded.
Well, let's think about what happened, because that already happened previously in the States in 33, and what they did was they reevaluated.
That was a confiscation. There was nothing voluntary about that.
Yeah, no. Well, you could keep up to 5 ounces per person, and but what did they do at the end? They took that gold and they reevaluated it. So, if we were to go into this time around, I'd still be thinking, well, hang on, why give it up now, sell it back now, if it's going to be worth more next week, like as in a lot more.
Yeah. Look, this still steers back to the same conversation that you and I had last week, Alex, where, I started talking about the mines in Australia and how gold is about to become our third largest export in this country by dollar value, obviously not by weight, but by dollar value. And my comment there was that pretty much every one of the major mines in Australia, there are some very much smaller ones, but pretty much every major mine that's a gold mine in Australia is actually owned by foreign interests. I would suggest that the Australian government should actually get some of its own mines happening. We are an incredibly gold wealthy country, but we seem to have this obsession with, and it's not just gold, it's across the whole board, really, but we have this obsession with digging things out of the ground and selling them overseas rather than retaining or attempting to retain even a component of it within the country and actually using it for our own wealth. And it's very disappointing. The only one that came up, I think, that someone argued was Australian owned, was actually an African. I think it was an African mine. So, even we're doing it overseas, but we're not doing it in Australia. So, yeah, not good.
There's a question here, Stephen Willis, in relation to that. He said, I'd like to know the answer to the question about the buybacks if the government offered 25% over spot. my answer to that would be the same. Like, if they're not going to give away something 25% over spot, right? So what would they want from that? So I'd be thinking, okay, they'll pay 25% over spot now, but very soon it'll go a lot higher, so they can actually make a return on that, because they're not going to give away any funds. So, well, yeah, if I was of the opinion of not to give, that would make me hold on to it even more.
Yeah, the problem with that, and we saw this, like if you want real life data on it, you can go back to, back to the gun buyback. And I was involved in that, so I kind of like, I want to be careful here. If the government came out and offered 25% above spot, immediately everyone's thought on the channel, or let me go back, my thought on the channel was, yeah, look, I'd sell it at 25% over spot and then I'd go and replace it somewhere else. The problem is that immediately the government said, yeah, we'll offer 25% over spot. The whole industry would increase their pricing to 25% over spot, because think about it logically. Why would I sell it to you for 5% over spot when I could actually just walk down to the government depot, hand it over and get 25% over spot? So all of a sudden you would move the goalposts, or you'd move the waterline straight up to 25% over spot. So it would have the opposite effect than what they're after if they're trying to encourage people to sell it back in, because it would just drive the whole market straight to 25% over spot.
Moving us on, not because it's not a good topic, because I think it's one people find quite interesting. But there was an article, Michael, that you sent through to me this morning. I wasn't sure if you wanted to talk about that. I'll quickly flash up just the main gist of it, and you can head into a little bit more. But it says Australia takes another step towards a central bank digital currency. So yeah, you've read the article, and I can put a link to it in chat for anyone that's interested in reading the whole thing. But what was the gist of that one?
It was actually, in some ways, it was a something nothing article. In other ways, there was actually some real nuggets inside there. So it does talk about what
Nice
they're
pun.
looking at doing with this. Yeah, no pun intended, mate. So it is about the Australian government pushing for a CBDC and how they're going to do it. They're running a trial at the moment with 500, I think it was, different organisations that they're going to be able to do some trialling, some experimental transactions, things like that with their CBDC. So it was interesting just to read that. One of the main things I took out of it, though, was the fact that they've given up on doing a retail CBDC. They have no interest in it, and it's only going to be done from a wholesale level. So it's not like we're going to have an Australian dollar CBDC or, those kind of everyday contracts or transactions, but they're looking at removing some of the wholesale financial risks and things like that when, banks are dealing with the Reserve Bank, superannuation funds in the background. A lot of those contracts on a wholesale level, a much larger level, that's going to occur. Not so much as Fanda's mentioning there, that Australian stablecoin, they're actually pushing away from that and just going into the wholesale area. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, this is all just talk at this stage, but it's interesting to see where they're targeting, the tests that they're running, those types of things. So not a bad article. Like I said, a little bit something nothing, but there is a couple of kernels in there of things like the fact that we're only looking at wholesale CBDCs and what we're going to do with them in the background. It could absolutely, Aussie Rob too makes the comment there, the thin end of the wedge. Look, I'm one of the more suspicious people of the government. One of the reasons I don't like this $3 million superannuation tax law that's currently going through the system, hasn't got there yet, but it's on its way through, where they're looking at taxing unrealised capital gains if your superannuation fund is over $3 million. Everyone's saying, oh, well, it doesn't affect me. That's only affecting the wealthy. Yeah, this is the thin end of the wedge theory. They'll bring it through at that, and then they'll start saying, oh, yeah, but, we won't apply it just to super. We'll bring it to just properties or just shares, or, it'll trickle its way down. And then, as they're quite clearly saying, it's not indexed. So as inflation keeps chipping away at it, all of our superannuation funds, just through that natural inflation growth, will get closer and closer to that $3 million. and then it'll be a case of, oh, look, for your security, let's bring it down to $2 million, or we'll do $2 million because we want it for an Australia building fund, or they'll make it sound very, very nice and sunshine and roses, but again, it's thin end of the wedge. So, Aussie Rob, I'm not oblivious to your comment there. I'm not. I think you may be right. I suspect there's a suspicion there that you might be right. Let's put it that way.
For sure, and that's it. They're certainly not going around updating things like the $10,000 upper limit on like reportable limit on cash and things like that. They're not that interested in updating those numbers. So these ones, though, I think they might be moving a little bit more frequently.
Well, I got to say, I think they've made a rod for their own back with that. Talking about the reporting requirement there at 10 grand, because now, particularly with gold being over $5,000 an ounce now, we are now having to report so many more transactions.
Mm-hmm.
And so the data that they're getting, they're drowning in the data. They can't process it quickly enough. And then on top of that, they're expanding it to real estate agents and solicitors and accountants and used car dealers. And I can't remember, there's half a dozen different new industries that they're dragging into it. The amount of data that in 5 years' time that they're going to be swimming in, and that's without taking into account inflation. If they did if we start looking at where gold will be in 5 years or 10 years' time, and similar assets, you're going to get to a point in the not too distant future where almost every transaction is going to have to be reportable in some form.
Now, I've got a bit of a confession to make, both to the two of you and to the stream, and I'm going to need a bit of a judgment call. If one of the three of us happened to go overseas recently and forgot to bring a Bullion Now bag, would they still be allowed to show themselves some photos where in the world is the Bullion Now bag for people to guess?
Yes, but only for educational purpose, for this never to happen again.
Yes, I can cop that. There was a couple of submissions from someone else who did remember to pack their Bullion Now bag, but let's go take a look at where in the world is that
I'm
Bullion
disappointed,
Now bag.
Rubes.
Yeah, so am I, and I'm sure chat will be as well. Sorry, everyone.
This will come up in your review.
In the world is that Bullion Now bag? Where could it be? Can you guess? Let's see.
To the person Leonard suggesting I should have photoshopped it in, I was planning on it, and then I got caught up into the shop today. But I absolutely was planning on photoshopping this in. But all right, the first one was a bit of a transit location on the way to where I was going. But that there is a photo I took, and was going to Photoshop a little Bullion Now bag onto it. But
hang on, I think I see the Lost Boys.
Where is that, Rubes?
I'm going to wait and see if anyone gets it in chat.
You didn't go through the UK, did you?
Santa Monica Pier. Jason's got it. That is in LA. I transited through LA and had to do a couple of the classic American things whilst on the way. Oh, sorry, wrong one there. The US. Didn't actually see anything going on over there, even though I was going through it quite a turbulent time. But no, it was all good. But where I was going was this next place. Overview of the city there. But does anyone know where? And I think Alex and Michael are banned because you guys knew. Yeah. So it's.
I think I see a little Bullion Now bag in a window on the 31st floor. I like the no, not Frankston.
No, Stephen. Although I did transit through El Salvador. Hey, there we go. Who was the first one? Ronald. Colombia. It is indeed Colombia. Went to Medellin, had a great time there with my girlfriend. We went there, did paragliding, got engaged, went jet skiing, play with some magical plankton. Had a great
you
time.
can't slide that into the middle, Ruben.
Why not?
So yeah, I wasn't sure we were allowed to mention that on stream, but you've done
why
it now.
not?
So very much from all of the Bullion Now family, very much congratulations, mate. On
Thank you.
getting engaged, and to your lovely partner. So it's it's fantastic. It's been a while in coming.
But I had an absolutely awesome time over there, and that's it. I do have lots more photos. I took a couple of thousand. So lots more photos, but I won't catch everyone up with them. But yeah, very, very sorry again to everyone for not bringing a Bullion Now bag. But yeah, that's it. I was very stressed trying to remember to pack the other thing.
It's all right. I already gave it to him
well,
this morning when he told me.
Thank you everyone for the congratulations in chat.
I guess I can let it slide the fact that you forgot the bag but did remember the ring.
Yes.
Now, on that note, AC asked platinum or gold engagement ring. Congrats.
It was gold.
Plastic.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
It was actually made. I'm going to throw a bit of an advert out over it, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rubes, but it was actually made by a company called Diamond Line, wasn't it?
It was. Big shout out to
so
them.
Diamond Line,
Big
until
help.
very recently, lived next door to Bullion Now in our Melbourne store, and they are incredible artists. And they've moved, but not very far. They're up on Little Collins, I think it is now.
Yep,
Is
just
it,
off.
Ruth?
Yeah.
Just off Little Collins, is it? Yeah. So if you're into, if you need a jeweler, and they're a father and son team over there, and with a few others, but incredibly skilled artisans, and I would argue quite reasonably priced for what they do, but it's certainly very incredibly skilled. If you're ever asked after anything along those sort of lines, go and see Diamond Line. Tell them that we sent you up there. But yeah, they are incredibly good at their job. And so Ruben and his now fiance have got an incredible piece of artwork as an engagement ring.
Absolutely. Wasn't the last, wasn't just my submissions though. We did have someone else with some Where in the World is the Bullion Now bag. Not that I'm trying to move on from my news because I am very excited, but I am aware there'll be a lot of people going, yeah, come on. Where else is the Bullion Now bag though?
I've got to say though, it's the largest lump of gold that I've seen on someone's finger for a long time, Rubes. And that big rock on top of it.
Although,
mate, I'm obviously paying you too much.
yeah, I like GNA's question. Did she XRF the ring?
She didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
I did before giving it to her, but no. These next two come with a bit of a combo for each other. So I don't think anyone, maybe someone will. I don't think anyone's going to get the first location. The second one maybe, but they are linked. I also, also before the comments about this person did remember to bring the Bullion Now bag. So we got this one there. Oh. Bit of a geological formation, but not a whole lot to go on. So I will be very, very impressed if someone's able to get it from just this.
North Queensland?
Not North Queensland. Not Iceland.
I can see the Iceland comment.
Yeah, no, definitely can see it. But Ireland, no, that's it. I didn't think anyone would jump at this one because it's there's not much to go off.
Colorado?
No, I will move to the next image that I think will be the giveaway. Potentially not, but there's a little bit more context there.
Oh. Mexico?
Still no one got it. Canada, Andes.
Mexico?
Richard, Pompeii. There we go.
Oh, really?
It is Pompeii, and the one previous was Mount Vesuvius, the infamous mountain causing the volcano causing the destruction of Pompeii.
Wow.
So again, I love all the places our bags end up. It's very cool. So thank you to everyone who sends through where they've been up to. Again, apologies for me for not.
We were this close from having a BM bag in Colombia.
Yeah, so someone else will have to go and tick that one off our list. It would be very cool to get a bit of a map or something, I think, and start ticking off some of
that'll
all
be
the
great.
locations. I might have to start doing that. We'll have to get it to every country in the world. But yeah, good guess there.
Well
thank
done.
you for sending them through live at bullionnow.com.au if you had one that you wanted to send through to us. I'll quickly put that in the chat there. But yeah, very, very cool.
We need to start wrapping this up, Rubes.
I just saw the time.
We do. It's kind of gone very quickly. It's good to be back with you guys, but there's been a bit to catch up on, and I think it's gone very, very quickly. Let's move to rapid fire questions. So if there was a question you've asked that we hadn't answered yet, feel free to put it through now. We will endeavour to hit as many as we can rapid fire before ending the stream, just to make sure that it doesn't get missed. GNA wants to know who's taken the BN bag to North Korea. Well, I'm pretty sure it was Kim himself.
Yeah, I was
Had
going
a
to say
BN
that.
bag.
Yeah, we've got a photo.
Yeah,
We've still got that photo of Kim with our Bullion Now bag. And
I do.
Yeah. For those that haven't seen that, they might be a bit confused by that. Has the Australian government ever confiscated gold?
it's passed legislation. It never actually did it.
Not yet.
When's the next special or auction?
Well, I'm on holiday, so you got to talk to the boys about that one.
Well, if we went in the shop today,
No, we might have got one
seen something
organised.
today.
That's Michael's secret plan. Ronald says platinum surge.
What's that?
It's actually eased back a little bit over this week, I believe. But yeah, it's great to see the recognition of platinum and the fact that it's pushing a bit higher. I said a couple of times now I'd like to see it pause here, which is what it does seem to be doing. But I think it's still got legs to go. It's traditionally always been valued at a greater amount than gold. And I personally believe, this is not financial advice, certainly not tomorrow, but I certainly think we will see it push up at least to about the value of gold, but I think it'll actually push further than the value of gold.
I think it's to do with, well, unfortunately, I think it's to do with the war effort. It's used in a lot of manufacture and items for the military industrial complex, which, but that's another story altogether.
It's still got a lot of wider uses than that, though, Alex. You know, it's used in a lot of medicines now. There's certainly a lot of the greenification of the world. A lot of those technologies are platinum, have platinum components, even if they're not platinum based. So it's certainly partly militarily, but I would argue it's across several fronts nowadays.
Oh, yeah, it is. And I acknowledge that. But the rise in that quickly makes me look at,
Did you guys do rapid fire while it was gone? How did you manage?
It took us about half an hour. I don't know why.
GNA, can previous Wonka bar purchases be provided preference for the next Wonka bar?
Quite possibly, yes.
Yeah, not something
Let
we've
me work
discussed
out
yet.
how many we're getting first.
Yeah. SMSF unallocated statements.
Will be out soonish. We traditionally send them out in August, I think, from memory.
Yeah.
But I know they're being compiled as we speak.
Wasn't Michael supposed to be on a snow holiday this week? He is.
I am.
Hence joining us remotely.
I'll get you some footage.
Yeah, that'd be good. Looking forward to a video. Thoughts on the Royal Mint trial Pix coins? Expensive but historical.
Yeah, I like them.
Update on Pakenham.
It's currently on hold. We have employed some people to help us with the shuffling around of other staff because Oscar's going out to Pakenham, a few other things. So we are getting very, very close. And I've said the last couple of weeks, Pakenham is functioning. It's not open as a shop, but if you want to do a deal through Pakenham because you live closer to it, call us 1300 84 84 10. We're doing a limited number by appointment only. So we will schedule out some times where we've got this capacity for people to actually help the Bullion Now family down there. And if you can fit into one of those slots, absolutely, we will we will do a trade through the Pakenham store right now.
Are we?
I'm scheduled to work out a Pakenham on Wednesday, so maybe I'll have a mini update on Friday.
Sounds good.
Are we open tomorrow? I know there was some dubious things because we were looking at doing a bit of an update to systems and things.
We are absolutely open tomorrow. We've had to push that off till towards the end of the month, but we'll make a song and dance of it later.
The auction, hopefully we'll do some auctions moving forward. When is the new Wonka bar being released approximately?
Off the top of my head, I actually can't tell you. I'd have to go and look it up.
Has Michael seen the lunar horse design, and can he confirm there are 2 horses on the silver coin?
I'm not confirming anything. I don't want to tread on anyone's toes or their hoofs for that matter.
How does BN avoid debanking?
Oh, ask me when I'm not on camera.
Yeah. What a new Perth Mint? When I'm going to say a new. Oh, what and when a new Perth Mint coins due in? I'm going to say when.
There's some due. It depends if we're talking bullion or numismatic. Numismatic we just released, and there's another lot being released start of August. There is something coming up soon for BN. I can't remember what it is. Yeah, later this month or early next month there's a new release, and then we roll into September, where there's the launch of the
Lunas.
of the Luna.
Does Kangaroo 1 ounce gold coin have any security features? I think it's got the micro letter.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have some security features.
What's new in stock for next week? I kind of touched on that. I'm not really sure.
There's some Germania stuff. Man, I'm on holiday. I haven't prepped for this one, sorry. But there is some Germania stuff coming through. Some Scottsdale stuff as well, I think.
Ooh. Alex, do you reckon we can sneak in a Michael's Away special for next week's stream?
Hang on, cover your ears, Michael.
La, 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 la.
That'd be good. Drogue talking about the fact that Bitcoin's surged up $10,000 in 16 hours. How's the snow, Michael?
The snow is incredible up here. It's basically, we arrived on Sunday. Monday, the snow was just a little bit slushy. You could see it starting to break down. And then it's basically snowed since Tuesday, kind of late morning. And pretty much solid through. Today's the first day where the snow's actually backed off. But we're still meant to get more snow over the weekend and through next week. So if you want to hit up in the Victorian Alps and go to the snow, it's fantastic up here at the moment.
Were the SpongeBob 1 gram gold bars overhyped? Saw a big sell-off this week on the online forums.
Oh, I don't know if it's overhyped, but I think people are trying to overhype it because of what happened with the Wonka bar. So they're hoping, I think a lot of people bought it hoping it'll be an instant Wonka.
Yeah, take out the hype and all that sort of stuff, I think it's a great bar. And I think I did a whole burst on this, so I won't go over it all again, but I don't think you could overhype it. I think it's a great design, and it was pitched at a great price.
Yeah.
For $300, would you buy gold or silver? Not financial advice. I think I go silver.
Oh, you could do both at $300.
Yeah, I'd probably go silver.
What are you're saying both, Alex?
I'd buy a gram, and if I was to start out with, and get some ounces.
How's the snowboarding going, Michael? Are you carving it up?
I'll send you some video.
That would be good. A live stream without any aviation questions? I kind of there.
Almost.
Unheard of.
Almost.
I was actually shopping for the next BN jet last night, dreaming.
When will Little Coin Shop get coloured Germania coins?
The first ones will be this tree of life that I can't pronounce.
Cool. How far off is the new Kangaroo in gold?
November. I think it's November that's released.
Cool. Are the slopes busy?
Surprisingly, yes.
Are you a French fries pizza or a pizza guy, Michael?
Why not have both?
¿Por qué no los dos? And I think that's the bottom of the list. Yeah, what was selected for the BN Jet? Let's throw in an aviation question just to end it all off.
I was looking at a Challenger 605 last night.
There you go.
I got to put this in perspective. We're not getting it. Don't stress. I was just doing a bit of daydream. Well,
Bit
evening
of dreaming.
dreaming.
Do we have any recommendations for a coin shop in Chicago City?
Oh, geez, not off the top of my head. I'd have to think about that one.
Can we post 10-ounce gold bars?
Not really. Yeah. Look, we can. I just have to get not an exemption, but an okay from the insurance company for them to go, which they've never said no to, but it's just an extra stage in the process.
Good stuff. All right, we made it to the end. We had a successful stream. I was a bit worried when you said you weren't going to be here, Michael, for my first one back. I'm like, I want this to go smoothly. I want it to be a case of Ruben's back and things go smoothly. So I was a bit worried that with you up in there in the snow that we're going to have a storm roll through or something and lose you. But we've held on. So thank you to both of you.
What are you trying to say about the streams that Alex and I ran? You're trying to tell me they weren't smooth?
They
Hiccup free?
Hiccup free, no worries at all. I especially loved the podcast you did the second week.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. If for anyone that missed it before, big thanks to both of you for keeping that running and going. Alex especially whilst I was gone. Yeah, I'm sure everyone.
Have you noticed, Alex, have you noticed the numbers have dropped since Ruben came back?
I didn't want to say anything.
I noticed it. I'm a bit offended, but it's all right.
We cracked 340, I think it was last week.
Well, something like that.
I think the number said 320 I saw, but still above
Oh,
300.
there you go.
I know you're trying to start another Matt thing. It's not going to happen. So next week I am back. So hopefully there'll be a couple of new releases for Bullion Now that we'll be able to get going. There might be Alex and I filming them, but yeah, I'm back. So alongside that will be some videos. We will be doing another remote stream for next week because Michael's away for next week as well. But we've proven we can do them now. And yeah, we will see you all next week and in next week's videos. Anything else either of you guys wanted to add?
No, thanks for joining in. I'll catch up to all the comments missed later on tonight.
Perfect.
And see you guys either in the shop or online next time.
And
Fantastic.
if you see me up at Mount Hotham, say good day.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing some videos from you there as well, Michael. It'll be good.
No worries.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Cheers. See ya.
See ya.